Hello, squatties. Welcome back. Partly to you guys, partly to this. This is the return of Total War Wednesdays. As always, I'm V, and this is the newest edition in the Total War franchise. This is Total War Three Kingdoms. Now, unfortunately, I didn't realize I wasn't recording, and thus I missed the opening video for you guys. But what I'm going to talk about real quick, the Three Kingdoms period takes place around 190 in ancient China. The basics are the Han Emperor has just died, and his young son, when I say young, I'm like talking about 10 years old at best, I think, has ascended to the throne. Problem is, he is being made into a puppet by a group known as the 10 Eunuchs, who are serving as regents to try and take over China through the rule of the puppet boy. But there's a person that's better at it, specifically historically, I don't know if he was, but he's always presented as being rather large, rather rotund warlord by the name of Dong Zhuo. He has seized power through the Puppet King, but also partly because he has China's single greatest warrior of the time period on his side, namely Lu Bu. If you've ever played any of the Dynasty Warrior series, you're familiar with kind of some of this. Now, when you start the game, you have 4 different classes of character to choose from. These are the coalition. So you'll recognize some of these, like Cao Cao from the Kingdom of Wei, who, in terms of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the ancient Chinese novel, I call it a novel, I'm not exactly certain if that's the right term, but I'll go with that. He's one of the villains, in a way, but he's well known for, he's got a good strategic mind, he's a good general, he's a good governor, but more than anything, he's a good manipulator. He's good at getting people to do what he wants without them realizing it. And that actually plays into the game. There's actually unique resources that everybody's got that allow them to do certain things. Cao Cao's is the ability to, he can start a proxy war. He can have, for example, you can have Liu Bei here, who is the protagonist, kind of the Three Kingdoms novel, declare war on Sun Jian. Without him, without Cao Cao without being obviously directly involved. Now, like I said, there's 4 classes. The coalition, these guys are the kind of the basic idea of a total war game, where they are your big generals. They are the military leaders. They have other abilities, of course, but they have the military power. The other 3 classes, there are the governors. These guys are politicians from the court of the Han. I'm not sure about Ma Teng, but these guys they have military abilities, but usually they do better if they are ruling through bureaucracy and paperwork. That's not an insult to them. Then there's the outlaws. There's only 2 of them. These guys, I'm not exactly certain how they play. I'll talk about that in just a second. Then there's the Yellow Turbans. In Three Kingdoms, like I said, the coalition are the 3 kingdoms that join up to try and take down Dong Zhuo and rescue the young emperor. For a couple of them, it's to put him on the throne and gain power for themselves. Others, I don't remember which one exactly, but some of these guys, possibly Liu Bei, were trying to put the emperor on the throne and help him rule, and eventually step aside to let him do it. The governors, like I said, they were big about this, but they were big about helping the Han. But the problem with this, with the way this worked out, is there's not just 2 sides. The coalition is, for one thing, not very united. But there's a 3rd side to this, namely these guys, the Yellow Turbans. The Yellow Turbans were a populist uprising that considered the Han to be what China looked at it as, with the divine right to rule. These guys wanted to keep the Han dynasty going because they saw it as being the right thing. They were loyal to the emperor. Historically speaking, these guys don't win. But I'm going to be playing as an outlaw. Specifically, I'm going to be playing as Zhang Yan, the king of Black Mountain, because it's an awesome title and I want to find out a little bit more about him, so let's see.
China is people, not its oppressive warlords.
Between the light of the civilized Han and the chaos of opportunistic banditry, Zhang Yan straddles the twilight. He sees the carnage wrought by Dong Zhuo and wonders how this can be turned to his advantage.
So we have the Black Mountain Bandits. So our starting situation is difficult because we are way up here in the north of China. But our character specialization, he is a champion, so he can... That's one thing I'm going to talk about in just a second, but he doesn't... We don't have penalties in the forest, and we gain extra loot, post-battle loot. I have a Vanguard and another champion. I also gain some unique troops, the Black Mountain Marauders, are an assault, they're guerrilla deployment, so I can... it's a Vanguard from Total War. Total Warhammer. These guys sound like berserkers, or these are shock troops. We also have Black Mountain Outlaws, who are anti-cavalry, and do kind of the same thing, but they have to be rank 3 or higher for the character. Then we also have the Black Mountain Hunters, who are kind of the Wood Elf archers. We also get the Black Mountain Hideout government building, so it gets plus. We gain public order, administrative limits to administration members, and diplomatic relations with the Han Empire. Or we can increase army limit and loot income, or diplomatic relations with the Yellow Turbans and spy limit. So, opportunistic alignment. I can make myself better, like with the Yellow Turbans. I can ally with them. I can do ambushes. And I have a playstyle is focused on ambush and opportunistic diplomacy. Now, this button over here, Romance, because you have you have Records of the Three Kingdoms, which is the standard Total War series. But I'm going to be playing in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms mode, which is character-centric. It's like the generals fighting battle with single powerful warriors, larger-than-life abilities inspired by the feats in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Parallel layer of character versus character combat. Generals can duel, that's what champions are good at, so Zhang Yan will be good at that. So that you can do a lot of morale damage and also gain some benefits from that. Like I said, heroic duels, characters increase in rank to become increasingly resilient. What once would have killed them will only wound them. So we're going to go ahead and start this off. Now, I'm going to show you the options. Normal difficulty on battle and campaign. No time limit on the battles.
Embers rise, stark against the night. The tyrant Dong Zhuo wields the flames of destruction. Luoyang burns. Chaos ignites as the power of the eunuchs is crushed. In the pyre, the Han falters. All this has happened before. History ebbs and flows. Imperial life means naught to Zhang Yan. It left him with nothing. For coin or for glory, the Black Mountain Bandits will fight.
There you go.
China is in turmoil. The great empire of the Han, stretching back ages beyond counting, is being devoured by corruption. The Yellow Turbans, thousands strong, began raising their banners in rebellion and seizing commanderies across the realm. In response, generals loyal to the Emperor rose up and put down the rebellion. Yet despite the victory, the chaos only grew. With the corruption at the very heart of the Empire, the loyal generals stormed the Imperial Palace and killed the 10 eunuchs, the source of China's ills. In the madness, the warlord Dong Zhuo seized the Emperor. With the great warrior Lü Bu at his side, none dared oppose him. In response to Dong Zhuo's brazen display, treason, some call it, a coalition of warlords rose up, led by the charismatic Yuan Shao, to save the Han. Faced with united opposition, Dong Zhuo retreated west to his stronghold of Chang'an, razing the old capital Luoyang to the ground as he fled.
That's just a little bit of background, you always get that. One thing I will say about this is Creative Assembly did wonders. This game runs
Yang.
very well.
Nothing but ashes now. Raised by Dong Zhuo.
He is a despicable dog. But the matters of nobles are not my problem.
He has kidnapped the Emperor, my lord, and drags China into chaos.
Good.
There are other problems. Their yellow turbans rise, zealous as ever. Their crazed belief is mad, just as mad as Dong Zhuo's. And this coalition, it is feeble, and will remain feeble with Yuan Shao as leader. What have they accomplished under him? Nothing! He lacks strength.
There are other bandits, other warriors.
Jian Zhong is a fiery sort. Selfish, always hounding glory. But strong and dependable. I would sooner her than those vainglorious nobles.
May you descend from the Black Mountains, Zhang Yan, 1 million strong, and sweep away the foolish and the unworthy.
I'm okay with this idea. Alright, so we start off with the standard thing of we have to claim Han Empire region. Be wary of Zhang Zhang, who is the bandit queen. Apparently she only gets like a one-line mention in the actual book. Now there's a couple of big differences. First off, get rid of this, get rid of that. Ooh, good. First off, let's take a look at the army thing.
Vent frustration.
Basically, the way the armies work in this is you have a general. So in this case, I've got Zhang Yan, I've also got Yu Du.
A land without people.
These guys
is
act like
bereft
characters
of
did
spirit.
in Total Warhammer,
Sprout ever upwards.
and you
to
can actually
heaven.
give them, they can get different weapons, armor, mounts, followers. Which one does this do? Okay. Give you the wooden ox, because that'll make him tougher. But you also notice how there's unit flags next to them. That's because each general has their own coterie, if you will. Okay, so give me the Iron Snake. Now you can, of course, command them to work differently in the actual battlefield, and I'll show you that in just a second. We're
For
gonna
China! For honor!
we successfully ambushed these enemies. What if we? Okay, I can't. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this battle. They have 2 units of 20 cap of mounted lancer militia and a vanguard. Now, like I said, the way that the cool thing about this, and one of the big changes, is the dueling system. I'll see if I can get Zhang Yan to fight Zhang Yan to fight Jiang Biao. The reason I'm trying to pronounce all these names correctly, and I'm not sure if I am, is because I did actually study Mandarin in high school. That was 13 years, actually no, 14 years ago for me, because I stopped halfway through my junior year. Okay, so let's see about this. Like I said, this game runs a lot better than like even Warhammer did, and Warhammer ran decently well. probably go for about another 15 minutes. Another big thing is the way units work in this game, aside from the coteries, like I mentioned. Like, the standard Total War rock, paper, scissors thing of cavalry beats archers, archers beat infantry, infantry can beat cavalry.
Take heed, warriors! Weapons! Axes! Stand ready! Cavalry! Stand ready! Stand ready!
Right, so I want to...
Ready! Weapons ready!
Okay.
Prepare! Horsemen! Try them! Stand by! Our men have been discovered! Steel yourselves!
No. So yeah, we did get offered a duel, but
I must prevail!
Zhang Yan is now going to... Well, first off, he got knocked off his horse, which is not great. But yeah, so while our troops fight, while the armies fight, they will not actually directly interfere in the duel. But because we also have
Your words are as pathetic as you are.
Our comrade is under attack!
yes, so you dudes over here fighting. But we also have this duel to watch, and Zhang Yan is actually winning. You can tell by the health bars.
Axes, attack! Move, move!
The enemy is broken. I don't know if they're shattered. Yeah, they're shattered.
Come on!
So
Surely you can do better.
Is that your best? Come on, try
They will
harder.
also trash talk each other.
Our success looms large.
Zhang Yan wins the duel. That's the win. Battles in this are vicious and quick if you know what you're doing. But archers in this are also the reason I was talking about the unit dynamics a little bit. Is archers in this are brutally effective. If you have a good mass of archers, they can just rain death. 9 of them survived. They had 41. I killed 32. I lost 5. It's good to be back in a Total War game. I do like this. I also have a personal playthrough I'm doing with a much easier kingdom. I'm doing a playthrough as Cao Cao. Still trying to figure out how to manipulate people into doing what I want. Like how to start the proxy wars. You also get a nice little kill animation there.
Our victory is proof of heaven's approval.
Alright, so we could ransom them and get 228 income. We can get military supplies, which supplies are big for healing. I could also get replenishment. I don't know if 3% is going to be enough, so we're going to just take the ransom.
Return them to their kin. This power will serve the people.
So we now have to take the Yanmen Lumberyard, which is over here. Alright, so Zhang Yan gained some extra experience because he led the army.
Lift the peasants.
Now if I encamp,
Ready the
it doesn't matter.
encampment.
Let's say it doesn't matter. I cannot, because I'm not in friendly territory.
Return to standard position.
What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move into Yanmen.
Focus your rage.
This will be a Pyrrhic victory. but I can also stop them out, which is what I'm going to try. Oh, also noticed
Attack! Bend, do not break.
Zhang Yan has leveled up. So he is big on resolve. You have 5 stats: expertise, resolve, cunning, instinct, and authority, representing the 5 elements, of course. So resolve is great for champions because that means they will have more health. So let's see. Could get endurance, which gives 8 resolve, half attrition for military supply shortage when commanding, and fatigue resistance for his retinue. Also get vengeance, which gives instinct, enables scare, and +10 morale when in on territory, but I don't have any territory yet. Flexibility. Let's take flexibility. Alright, so these guys are under siege. I said we can starve them out. Eventually we can demand their surrender. But since they don't have an officer, we cannot. I do actually have access. I do actually have a town. It's over here. Now this is another big thing on how they're different. Used to be that like in Total Warhammer, you'd have Altdorf, and then you'd have a province that is divided into several different territories. In this case, it's kind of the same idea, but each territory also has a special thing. Like you have Zhang Yan, or not Zhang Yan, that's my character. You have Yanmen, the town, but then part of that we also have a lumber yard over here that we can eventually upgrade once we have it. So you do have to. There's a lot more. The management of the town system is considerably different. All right, let's go ahead and end the turn there. Also, you do not have to wait on like 3 turns before somebody starts starving. They will start taking attrition damage from starvation the second you seal the town off. Okay, yeah, this right here is people you can hire to join your court. So, for example, I could hire these 3: Yin Li, a saboteur, and a sentinel. Young Yi, a vanguard inspector, or Wei Yo, strategist and tactician. I already have a strategist. I also got 2 vanguards, one of whom is actually with me right now. Real quick, hold on, let me mess with the graphics a little bit. Bump it down to low. But yeah, like I said, even on medium, this was running pretty well. I just wanted to make it a little better, a little smoother for you guys. Not much. Let's check the siege.
For China! Strike true!
One more turn. I will take this. I will take the lumberyard before the end of the video. The cool thing about the personnel development that you can hire, you can actually find legendary people. Like Zhang Yan is a legend. So basically, it's all like the legendary lords. I don't know if they can die specifically.
For the people!
There we go. Because they've lost a lot of their troops. You know what? So I'll do one more turn. Now you can also see, of course, all of the different people. You can actually play as Dong Zhuo and Lu Bu, but you have to beat them first. It's a lot like they did it with Medieval 2, or the Medieval series. Alright, that'll work. One cool thing about this that I really love that they did, though, is that each battle map is kind of unique.
Our roots are strong. We will achieve much.
No time to hesitate. Our foes must be crushed.
This is also important because your generals do better if they like each other.
Now archers! Fight in her name!
Come on. Ah, good. But I'll go more into the relations, but you see, this is the town, or this is the lumber yard. The problem is there's towers that I gotta deal with, so. Group you guys. All points of entry are covered. But put them there. Oh, it's because that. Oh, that's the sign of the vanguard.
Weapons ready! Make ready!
Could I actually vanguard deploy over here?
Axis, attack!
Okay, no, so. Okay, so only the Black Mountain Raiders. Now, there is a proper line of sight in this game, so I don't know exactly where the enemy is. Oh, no, psst. Wrong unit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Yudu and his Lancer Militia.
Prepare! Take heed, warrior! Go! Go! Three, two, attention!
Okay, there's their enemy. Now, since there's not
A
an
comrade is being attacked!
since there's not an officer, I don't have the ability to duel anybody.
Horses!
Stand ready!
Now
Warriors!
their archers are gonna get good shots off here.
Show them justice!
No.
The
Bad.
unit has perished. None are left.
What? Oh, great. So they actually managed to kill one of my cavalry units.
I'll go! Cavalry!
Attack! Warriors!
Ready for raid!
Ready!
Steel yourself!
Steel yourselves!
He should basically be able to just absolutely shred these guys.
To attention!
Problem is, these guys are good against my cavalry.
Faster!
Be ready!
The enemy unit flees! What cowards!
And now I've turned those towers to me. Oh, this is gonna go perfectly because he has shattered them. They're facing towards my cavalry at the moment. Which is exactly what I want. That's what I wanted to happen.
Look the enemy run! Craven!
Unleash fury!
The time has come!
They have to choose, are they going to attack my cavalry or are they going to attack
Move!
my infantry and my general?
Lads are ready!
Do not relent!
Try them! The enemy unit flees! What cowards!
We'll go ahead and claim victory here. End battle. Zhang Yan killed 72 people on his own.
From the
The
roots
enemy's
to heaven.
defenses have fallen, and now those that cower inside await judgment. You may...
We're gonna actually occupy this.
Only by growth will the word be spread.
Buildings here are still damaged from the recent siege, and will need to be repaired before they are useful again.
Remain pure.
I'm gonna repair that. Anybody useful? By which I mean anybody legendary. Yeah, the commandery thing is a lot like having the full province from Warhammer.
Bring news of what occurred in my absence.
Yeah, we're gonna start. I'm gonna get towards consideration. Great. Mount Wutai. All right, but that'll be it for now. I hope you guys enjoy this. I love the Total War series, as I've kind of made plain by now, but Three Kingdoms is also an interesting take because it's not Western, it's an Eastern game ultimately. But if you did enjoy, if you were to drop a like on the video, you can also leave a comment down below if you have anything you'd like to say. And if you want to keep up with me and never missing my current series, consider joining the squadron by subscribing to the channel. It does help me out, and I really do appreciate it. Also, as I mentioned at the end of the last episode of the Party On series, this will be taking over. This will be moving to the 12 o'clock noon time slot next week. It's only 3 o'clock this week because it's the last episode of Party On. But until then, we will try and do our best to unite China under the King of Black Mountain. Good night, and good gaming.